Okay, I really want to get to the Michelle Phan podcast. Now, we just watched Tati Westbrook's I'm Sober, This Is My Journey video, and I think it was really important to watch before the Michelle Phan interview. And she opens up about the fact that Michelle Phan was one of the people that really helped her in her sobriety journey. Whenever, she would be in rehab, she would go on, she found the beauty community, and Michelle Phan was one of those people, and she, steered her, in her eyes, addictive personality into makeup, and Michelle Phan really inspired that. And she says that when she did this podcast, she didn't know whether or not she was going to tell Michelle that, and she did, and she dropped a little bombshell on her, and I'm really excited to see how that goes. But also, they talk about Dramageddon in this. I know that we talk about Bye Sister and all like that, so there's a lot in this. So I'm very, very, very excited to get to this. Michelle Phan has a new podcast, Afterglow with Michelle Phan. Wow, people love a podcast these days. Anyways, let's get into it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Afterglow. I'm so excited about today's guest.
That's a good voice, isn't it? Very comforting voice. I feel like it would be amazing at ASMR. Michelle Phan, have you ever considered ASMR? I want to hear it.
She is one of my favorite beauty creators. I mean, she's so iconic, and it's been so incredible watching her growth. So I am excited to introduce you to Tati Westbrook. I have followed Tati's story ever since her early days on YouTube when she was doing these get ready with me's. I remember her favorites. She was so iconic. So we got a chance to sit down and talk in February of 2024 about her behind the scenes.
February? February? What? 7 months ago? I don't know how people sit on videos like this. If I'm making a video tonight, it has to go out tonight. What the fuck?
And also what's been going on with her life. So it's been a while since we filmed this episode, and
I'm so obsessed with the little photos that they're putting in.
There's tons of updates now, but nonetheless, I'm super excited to have her as my first ever guest on Afterglow. So
when two bad bitches come together to maximize their joint slay.
I hope you enjoy our conversation.
Is this a Jesus podcast?
I'm so excited that you're here.
Oh, people are saying it might have been her waiting until Tati was ready. Maybe. Oh, maybe this had to be cleared for the lawsuits to end first.
And I'm really honored because this is my first time going into a podcast. And I know this is a big deal for you because you've been invited onto so many other podcasts. And when we reached out and you just said yes, it was such a huge honor for me. I'm the one honored. This is amazing.
Oh, Tati looks gorgeous. Michelle does too. But again, I will always start at... Did I say Gabby? Did I say Tati or Gabby? I don't know. Hair, amazing. Tan, great. Glowing skin. Effortless outfit.
And yeah, this is a huge first. I have never done this. I know. This is so fun. I remember watching you throughout my entire career, actually, because I just saw that you were just someone who was so articulate, so elegant, really great at doing reviews, and just this trusted source. And I'd love to know, before all the glitz and glamour of YouTube, what were you doing before? Before YouTube? Yeah, before all this.
No, I was always in love with makeup from the time I was small. My whole story is that I was giving my sisters, who I have three. I have three sisters.
Yeah, people are commenting, saying that, we know right now that this podcast means so much to Tati going on and speaking to Michelle Phan for what we previously said, but Michelle Phan didn't even know at this stage. I'm like, how is she going to hit her with it?
Giving them makeovers and wanting to be a makeup artist and wanting to be in performance. I was a singer, actress, and so everything was about...
Mother Pill is working. She looks gorgeous.
And just the glamour of it all. So I grew up always wanting to do something with makeup. I didn't know exactly what. So before YouTube came along, I had worked at makeup counters. I had tried to do freelancing as best I could.
Wait, which makeup powder did you work at?
I worked at Bare Minerals.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I remember that whole era of Bare Minerals.
Yeah, I got to do makeovers on people every day.
Wow.
And
that was your training ground.
that was my training ground because I couldn't afford makeup school. So I learned a lot working there, and I was able to do some wedding makeup and kind of get my foot in the door. But the reality is I struggled a ton in my early 20s. So I had a lot of odd jobs. I wanted to be a makeup artist. I wanted to be professional and work in film and television. That was a huge goal of mine. But I had a really rough go of it in my early 20s.
No way. What happened?
So I've never, this is the part where I'm like, okay, am I really opening up about this for the very first time in a public way? But when
Oh, wow. She's getting right into it. She's getting right into it.
I was 26, I was not in a good place. I'd lost my job. My fiance had left me. I was living with my mom in her studio apartment. Like, life sucked.
Wow.
Life was not fun. And I was partying way too much. I was super depressed.
Was partying a way for you to escape all of that, or?
Oh, totally.
Mm,
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
Every feeling inside of me. And it's so weird. I've wanted to share this story for so long. But when I was 26, I overdosed. And it was really,
Whoa! I can't imagine being Michelle Phan, and this is like, we're like 3 minutes in, and your guest is opening up for the first time about overdosing. Oh my God.
it was a moment in my
That's a
life
lot.
I was just, in my mind, done with life. So it was 2 nights in a row. I went to the hospital the first night, came home, did it again the next night, survived, and decided to get help. So I knew at that point, I was like, wow, something's keeping me here on earth. I'm meant to be here. So I checked myself into rehab. And in my free time at rehab, I found beauty videos on YouTube.
Oh.
Your videos.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me cry,
Yeah.
Tati.
So this is like
Oh my
a very
gosh.
big full circle moment. And I've wanted to share this story, but obviously there's been a lot of chaos
Yeah.
through my career. And it never felt like the right time to just be like, hey guys, this is the real reason that I started this adventure. And I want to share with you that if you don't give up and you keep going, great things can happen, because I've been there. I've been in that place where it's so dark that you can't even handle breathing in and out. And you think
The chat are like, she wasted no time on that.
there's no hope for your life. And I didn't have an education. I didn't have money. I didn't have people around me. I felt at that time that 26 was super old, which is hilarious.
Or century or something crisis,
Yes.
right? Quarter life crisis.
Like, I should be married and I should have a family by now. And like, all my friends are doing that. And I have no career and nothing. And I'm partying and taking things too extreme. And it wasn't working. And I didn't see anything ever working. So when I hit that rock bottom, it was hard. And it has been a huge burden of shame for a long time. I've been very ashamed of this. I haven't wanted to talk about this because I don't want to bring shame to my family and then I also don't want to be misunderstood in the public eye. But I think it's a really powerful and beautiful story that in the middle of my healing, in the middle of actually getting the help I needed and in recovery, I found beauty videos. And
Jen Love said, I feel like she might have just spat it out really fast because she was holding on to it for so long and was ready. Absolutely. And also, I mean, who are we to determine how quick he is to say something? It was just quite jarring. It was very quick.
helped me.
Wow.
And I learned how feeling beautiful can be so empowering to how you feel psychologically that I'd watch your videos and I'd write little lists and,
And also, it's very important to the question that she was asked, which is like, what made you start YouTube? I'm really happy for her that she's able to, feel she can open up about this now.
like really crappy little teeny tiny computer that's smaller than an iPad. And I'd sit back and watch all the beauty videos. And that first year of sobriety, I continued, I got a job at a beauty supply. So I was back in the beauty thing.
Yeah.
I'd watch videos at night and, I'm staying sober. And I wanted to do YouTube. I wanted to make videos. I'm like, I'm going to be like those women. I'm going to do that.
Wow.
And that's really how
That was the call. There was a calling for you and you answered it.
Yeah.
So the early beginnings of you starting your channel, by the way, thank you so much. That's so incredibly powerful. I mean, I think the fact that just you opening up and sharing that part of your life, and I think a lot of people can relate to you because it's true. We're kind of told at a certain age, you have to be at this stage in life and, finish with college, have a career, have a partner, and then get married. And I think in a way, weirdly enough, it sets a lot of people up for failure because it's not always meant for us. And I think it's so incredible that you had this self-awareness to know, okay, you know what, it's time for me to get help.
God, sorry, this is so unrelated to the point. They are both having a face card off. They are both gorgeous.
That's amazing self-awareness that you have. And I'm so grateful that beauty in a way saved you because we have you now because of that. Had you not have gone through this, Tati Westbrook on YouTube would have never existed.
I think about that all the time. All the time. Any trip, event, any cool thing that happens, and even falling in love with James, my husband. I think about these cool things that happened after, and I'm like, wow, I was ready to throw in the towel. I was done. I had no hope.
Again, another really beautiful way to frame the story, which is that if she hadn't survived those overdoses, look at the great things that she has gone through that she wouldn't have got to experience. And there's actually a TikToker I saw who popped up in my timeline a couple days ago, and he was in New York, and he was talking about how it's his birthday, and this time last year he attempted, and he's saying that the last year of his life was the best year of his life. And he was basically saying that, like, if anyone is feeling like they're at that stage, like, you have no idea what is to come in your life. And I just think that's such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing.
I didn't see myself ever being able to get it together and being successful. I was so depressed, so anxious, and I just didn't know how life could get better, right? Now I have this amazing career that I was able to really pour so much focused effort into and be excited about, and it worked, and it came to life, and I found myself in really extreme hurdles again. And, you know, there's been some not so pleasant moments on YouTube.
Of course. Yeah.
I know that as long as you keep going, you're going to get to that next destination, and you can't give up.
Yeah.
And so that's been a huge part of my perseverance. People are like, how do you deal with it? Like, how do you keep going? I'm like, you just put one foot in front of the other and you do it.
I love that about just how much you are able to just find the strength to just continue on, because it's true. Like, sometimes I know so many people, including myself, like, I'm just done, like, I'm over it and everything. But it seems like you have this amazing intuition within you that is this flame that keeps you inspired to continue on. And I'm so curious, because as you're like developing your early era of YouTube, did you feel like you had to create a persona and kind of live up to that? Because I felt like I had to do that too. Like, the persona I created was like, in a weird way, this persona, Michelle Fawn on YouTube, is saving my life, because she is someone that I need to continue being, because she gives me hope to continue being a better person. I don't know if you went like that.
I love that so much. So, like, let's drop all the bombshells. Right?
Okay.
Like, let's just do it. So I fully reinvented myself. Like, the old me it was an ego death. Like, I don't want to say.
The old Tati can't come to the phone right now. Why?
Like, she had to die. Like, no, it's an ego death. But yes, that happened. So growing up, my birth name is not Tati.
Oh.
It's Tanya, which is interchangeable for, you know,
Okay.
Tatiana, something family.
Tanya Westbrook? James Charles was exposed by Tanya Westbrook? What?
Has called
Okay.
me, you know, Tatiana, Tanya. And when I would do, you know, little acting that I did as a child, I did musical theater, and I would use the name Tatiana. And just because I thought it was so pretty, but everyone growing up otherwise would call me Tanya, and that's the name my mom gave me.
Tanya?
We have, you know, the story of me being a little kid doing theater and using the name Tatiana. You know, you open up so quickly with these strangers.
Right.
Tatiana is so cunty.
They all started calling me Tati. And I'm
No,
like, oh, okay,
wow.
like, I'm this new woman, and this is a fresh start, and the old me is gone, and this is real reinvention. And just the whole process of even getting ready in the morning was so important to me for my health.
Oh, yeah.
And just becoming something more positive. So I fully, like, it's not that I'm pretending to be someone else. It's like I stepped into a fuller version of myself in a new.
And that's beautiful.
And she even got a new name.
That's incredible. How? It's actually powerful that the people that you were sharing space with and you were vulnerable with, they clicked you that. Yeah. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Tati. Who would have thought? Tanya. Okay, Tanya, I guess you do look like a Tanya. Like, you know, some people, their names, they look like that. Yeah. But Tati is so unique and memorable that I think it's such an amazing rebrand if there was. Right.
She's not really giving me Tanya. She's giving me Tati. I feel like Tati makes so much sense for her. Tanya? Even though that's like her actual name. That's Tati. Who the fuck's Tanya?
Oh, thank you. I don't know why I feel like let's just spill everything.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. Wait, have you ever shared this with wow, oh my gosh. This is amazing.
I've kept, you know,
Ali, please.
and as much as I've shared, I've been able to keep a lot private.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of mystery around you, but I think it's good. It's better for people to want to know more about you than to just be sick and tired of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, I'm now at a point where I'm like, you know what? It's just.
Bitch, I need them Halo Beauty. Look at her hair. Look at her hair. Gimme those Halo Beauty things.
I don't even know why I'm holding it back. Like, there was a time where I felt like I really needed to. And now I'm just like, I accept more of myself. So this is an even newer version of who I am and where I'm headed.
Hold on. People keep making fun of me for saying tatty. They going Taddy as in tatty. How do you say it? Tati. Is that better? Tati. Tati Westbrook. Can you understand me now, Americans? Tati Westbrook. People say it with Trisha as well. Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas. Oh my God. We're talking about Trisha Paytas and Tati Westbrook today. Don't piss me off, Americans. Don't piss me off. Oh my God. I dealt with this whenever I would talk about Garrett Watts as well. Everyone will be like, who's Garrett? Sorry, Garrett. We're going to talk about Garrett Watts, Trisha Paytas, and Tati Westbrook. Fuck off, Americans. Leave me alone. Please. Please.
It's what happened.
I'm innocent.
What's wrong with that? Like, this is my story.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
And you are...
I'm so obsessed with Lunar sending a donation just to say, sugar bear hair does not work for me. I can confirm. Apparently, I still fucking pronounced it wrong. Tati. Sorry, Tati Westbrook. We say Tati. Do it in a southern accent. I need to lock into character though. Hey y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tati. See, I would say it like that. Tati. Wait. No, I'm going it. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tati. I've really been throwing a curveball here. Tati. Is that better? Say potty with a T. Potty with a T. Guys, you're gonna laugh at me, but I can't do this because I smoked before this. Potty with a T. Toddy. Okay. Well, my fucking edible didn't kick in until now. Somehow, y'all fucking me up as I just made the edible kick in. Say toddy with a potty has really just fucked me up. Tea and hottie. Toddy. Leave me alone, Americans! Leave me alone, Americans! Toddy. What am I saying, tatty? See, no, I don't even know how to fucking say it. Oh, you've just all pissed me off. You just pissed me off. Tati. I forget how I say her name now. Tati. I literally forget how I say her name now. Michaela said, Adam, Mr. Beast put out a statement. I appreciate you letting me know. I am so preoccupied right now, though. Tati with a pot. Okay, y'all can fuck off. You have just killed my vibe. Adam, it rhymes with fatty. Okay, you're just all throwing me off now. I'm moving on.
In charge of writing your story. You are the author of your story. I feel like a lot of people,
That's literally what I'm saying whenever you make fun of me saying tatty again. Tatty, I go, I'm the author of my own story. I can say it how I want.
Live a life where other people write their story for them. Mm-hmm. And I was like that too. So I believe like when I went on to YouTube,
apple pie is my favorite moonshine.
It felt like for the first time in my life, I was finally writing my own story. Mm-hmm. And I think it's so powerful to take ownership of your narrative because the moment you are the writer of your story, you're honoring your free will in a sense. Yeah. So I love that. I love that for you. And so the early beginnings of YouTube, you're getting into it. You have the Tati other side of you that you're kind of like fully becoming in.
Oh, she said Tati.
Yeah, it's just trying to be happy. You know, I was like, it's therapy. It's therapy. Like I would always tell people, I'm like, makeup is my meditation.
It is.
What are you talking about? I'm like, I sit there for an hour and I paint my face.
It's self-love.
And I leave feeling better than when I started. And it's, I don't know, expressive and was fun. But yeah, she was, I look back now and I'm like, oof, like she was still very fragile. She was still like, I can see this like innocence, like just so much of me trying to be happy. Like it was a fight. You know?
Yeah. It's, I'm so curious as to like during the beginnings of your YouTube.
Okay, people are like, not him laughing at Tati. No, I'm laughing at the fact that the comment section are ripping me to shit right now.
Just like during the beginnings, like the early stage of you forming your YouTube channel and becoming Tati and fully becoming her on the rise, like how are you, because I know on my side, like the more popular I became, the more negative comments I was coming across. And I'm so curious how you were able to kind of navigate through a lot of the noise, a lot of the negative noise, especially as you were coming out of this that no one knows about, you know?
No one knows about. So I'm like, hey, haters, like I've already hated myself well enough. Like anything that you find that you don't like about me, trust, I've already faced myself in the mirror.
She said, trust, you will be dealt with. You will be dealt with.
And have thought similar things. So like you can't out dark my darkness. And that was tough. Like I had no preparation that people online could be cruel, also super naive.
Yes.
You know, I thought, oh my gosh, we're playing with makeup. It's so fun. It was like, who would have a problem with this? And people did.
But I'm so curious, while you're on the rise, like when did you started seeing the traction and everything? When did you started seeing, wow, this is going to become a career for me?
I had on the wall a dry erase board that had every day of the week. And I would have all the videos that I would have to film that day and where I would have to go to shop for product and how I was going to do it. And it took over the room. So like my bedroom was the studio, was my life of filming every day. But really that dedication is what got me to where I am. And I always tell people, you know, something that is overlooked in the human experience a lot is consistency.
Yeah.
You know, showing up, even if you're not the greatest. I look back and my videos were terrible.
Oh yeah, I cringe all the time when I watch the old ones. Yeah.
It's really like there's a part.
Sorry, I know Michelle's talking about her own videos, but it sounded like she was talking about Tati's videos. She goes, yeah, when I go back and watch yours, I cringe as well.
Part of me that wants to just be like, delete, because it is so bad. But you know, how amazing for like former me, for this woman just trying to figure everything out on her own, to be so brave.
Yeah.
To put herself out there to the world, not having it figured out. And that's the other thing I try to cheer people on and say, hey, if you want some real advice, start before you're great. Be willing to embarrass yourself.
Embrace the cringe.
Yes, embrace the cringe. You're going to
start before you're great. I heard the voice of God tell me, start before you're great. Wow.
Figure it out.
I love her.
And that's the greatest.
I love that. And I love that people can see the growth, because the shame, there's so much shame. And that's something I want to talk about like later, probably in another episode, how shame can dictate so much of our lives and how much effort we put into hiding it, when actually there's so much power in being vulnerable and honest and showing people that I'm real, just like you.
Yeah.
You know? So, okay, you're doing 5 videos a week. That's crazy. I thought 2 videos a week was hard.
Right?
5 is insane.
I did that for 5 years.
That is incredible.
And the first 1,000 videos I edited myself.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're full-time in LA, you're doing 5 videos a week. I'm assuming around this time, I remember this time, brands had a lot of budget and they were throwing so many different parties. You were probably going to these parties and everything and meeting people. I'm so, I know, because I'm so bad at like going to these events and meeting people, but I'm so curious, like how, because it's kind of like high school. I feel like you're going into another high school where you have the popular kids and the not so popular kids. I mean, you have everyone. Yeah. Everyone's there. Like, how are you able to kind of navigate through making friends, you know, and like forming meaningful relationships?
I always really wanted to. I don't know how successful I was at it or how realistic it was, because the business is competitive.
It is.
And I definitely was very naive. I met some great people. I really did. There was a small era where I was hanging out with Fleur. She has her channel Sort of Force. Ingrid and Glamorazzi. We did a girls trip to IMATS in New York, and I got to go over to IMATS London. And like, so there were like these cool, like, I wouldn't call it cliquey, but like there were real friends. Nikki Philippi was also kind of in that group.
A very talented group too.
Yeah, really talented. And everybody was just really hustling and focused, but not backstabbing or terrible to one another. Like, I don't remember that being a huge part of the story. Were there people that spread rumors and played it like high school? Yeah, that happened. Yeah, for sure.
I think something that's really crazy about hearing Tati talk about all this in the, you know, first couple of years of YouTube and not being involved in all that is like really crazy. The foreshadowing of her being involved in quite honestly the biggest scandal that the beauty community had ever seen.
But, there were some good times.
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of just grows up and starts doing different things.
They have their life.
Yeah.
They're doing their thing.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand. I'm just wondering, like, throughout this entire time, as you're making friends and you're forming relationships, did you ever feel like they were using you, or they were using you for clout, or did it feel meaningful?
I mean, do we want to go there? Like, should we go there?
Yes! Please! Give it to me! Hold on, I'm falling off my seat. Please, Daddy! I want to see it. Please! Tell me.
Just let's just drink this water. Let's just dive on in.
I mean, like, I can share. Okay, so I'm happy to share on my side. I think it's so crazy because when I'm hearing you speak, it's like, oh my God.
Wow, they're sitting so close to each other, dude. They could like poke each other. I love a little bit of distance on a podcast, to be fair.
We literally have parallel lives. Like, what you experience, I experienced something like that, but just in my own way, right? And like you too, I had a lot of really cool friends that I made along the way. Most of them were net positive, but some of the friends that I did make that I truly thought had my back, and they were hanging out with me in my house. Like, when you come into my house, I have a partner. It's like, you really get to know me, and I don't invite anyone into my home until I feel like there's trust, right? So I was naive to think like a lot of these people that were that close to me had my best interest at heart. It wasn't until later I found out through rumors and people coming out of the woodwork and finally telling me, hey, so-and-so said this about you. And it's like, wait, what? Like, this is someone I helped. I literally helped their career. I taught them. It's so insane. Like,
it is.
The feeling of
hurts so deeply. Like, it's very different when that happens.
Yeah. I was also like you, like so naive, thinking like, I thought everyone was good at heart. Like, I thought if you showed up and you were authentic and you were loving and you were honest and you were just...
They're hashtag empaths.
You would receive the same thing, but I didn't know that there are people who, well, they have alternative motives and borderline, I don't want to psychoanalyze, but there's a lot of narcissism.
I'm so excited to hear Michelle's take on Bi Sister. I'm so excited.
Tendencies, and I didn't know that existed until way later, after everything was burnt down and bridges were completely torched. And I'm so curious if you also went through that too.
Yes, many times. That's the wild thing, is there's definitely been like an ebb and flow. So gosh, where do I start with this? So in the early days, it was really just like small stuff. Like, someone didn't want to hang out with you at the party, and it was like really just dumb, right? Like, who cares? But then as things grew and it got more cutthroat, it really was a lot of people coming into your life to see, who do you know that I can network with? What can I get out of this relationship? And that happened, absolutely. And something that I've never been able to really clear up, because I've tried to let the past stay in the past, but hey, we're kind of digging up a bunch of stuff right now. So back in the day, I did help James Charles quite a bit. And I think that there's been...
We're getting right into it. We're getting right into the James Charles stuff. Okay. Okay. Can I also say something real quick on James Charles? On that point, whenever I was in Munich, I had went to Adele, best night of my life. At the Adele concert, when I'm on the way, I'm getting tagged in so many tweets. And I am getting DM'd. So many DMs. What were those DMs? People were DMing me James Charles's leaked nudes. Let me tell you something. Number one, that was incredibly jarring to open my DMs to. So thank you so much to every single person who flooded my DMs with that. Number two, it was crazy to be on my phone with my mother beside me, and I click one of the tweets that people had sent me, and what does my mother see? Me on my phone with James Charles's hole on it. That was an interesting conversation of me explaining that to her. Now, the reason I wanted to say this was there were so many people that had sent me the James Charles leaks and said, I'm not kidding you. When are you going to make a video on this? Picture this. Me and my mother are in the taxi on the way to the Adele concert. I have just explained to my mother, no, James Charles has not sent me booty hole video. Someone DM'd it to me and it's all over Twitter. My mother goes, ooh, and we move on. Then 3 minutes later, picture this. I turn to my mother and I go, Mom, look at this. Look at the tweets and DMs I'm getting and comments of people saying, when am I making a video on this? And my mother goes, a video on what? And I go, what you just saw me looking at on my phone. And she goes, do they want you to react to it? And I go, I don't know, Mom. I don't know, Mom. To this day, there are people that are saying, why did I not cover that? And I know that other people made videos on James Charles's nudes. No, I had tweeted. Actually, whenever I was sitting down at the Adele concert, it was really beautiful lead up to the Adele concert. I'm going to be honest. Before I heard Adele sing Hello, I had tweeted being like, went on my timeline today, need to log off. I want to make it very clear that we all know my opinions on James Charles. What happened to James Charles is incredibly disgusting. And I feel so bad for any person, regardless of my opinions of them, who are the victims. And by the way, if there's one person that's called James Charles out for all of the shit that he's done, specifically with minors, it'll be Adam McIntyre. This is separate. Never will I ever make a video talking about someone being the victim of such a deep invasion of privacy and, dare I say, like sex crime, I guess. If someone is going on a FaceTime call with you with the purpose of leaking it, that is not something I will ever make a video on. So, sorry to disappoint people, but no. And it was really psychotic, actually, how many tweets were of the videos of James Charles, and they had so many likes, like the videos, ever. Like so many of them. Not once taken down by the social media. The tweets were actually being rewarded for doing well. And I, and a majority of people, could not go on their timeline without scrolling and seeing a viral tweet that literally was an entire FaceTime call of James Charles having e-sex with someone. It's wrong. It's wrong on the basis of that is revenge porn, you guys. And it is illegal. It is illegal. Never in a million years would I have ever fucking touched that topic on a YouTube video. Because why? There's nothing to talk about. There is nothing to talk about. It's disgusting that someone would do that to anyone. And they did it to James Charles. And that's also unfortunate. Does that take away from anything James Charles has done? Nope. But we cannot, as a society, pick and choose what revenge porn is acceptable / not acceptable. We cannot dictate based on likability of a person whether or not revenge porn is okay. So, moving along. I did just want to clarify that because there were still people that being like, why'd you never make a video on that? I'm like, what do you want me to do? You want me to like put it on the screen like this and we sit and fucking watch it? Like what the fuck?
A big,
Anyways, so she just mentioned James Charles.
I've tried to let the past stay in the past, but hey, we're kind of digging up a bunch of stuff right now. So back in the day, you know, I did help James Charles quite a bit. And I think that there's been a big misconception that I somehow pursued the relationship with him. He was 17. He didn't have an established channel. He was the one hitting up me in my DMs. We met the first time at Generation Beauty in New York. Oh my gosh, in the green room. And he was like, oh my gosh, I love your channel. Like, let's hang out in LA. And it was him pursuing me. So a lot of people have felt that I somehow was pursuing him for a benefit. And that was a weird part of the story. During that time, like my channel was growing. There were a lot of people coming at me that wanted to suddenly be my friend. And that was really bizarre. I had been through cycles of drama, kind of kept to my own. If you're filming every day of the week, you don't have a lot of time for all these relationships, you know? It's true. So I'd work a lot. And then the other relationship that kind of came to me that wasn't what I pursued, just to clear things up, is Jeffree Star.
Oh.
So how I met him the first time.
Oh, I love that she's name dropping. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Keep it up, Tati. We love it.
Was I had a lunch set up with Laura Lee, and we were going to Cheesecake Factory and just going to kind of hang out and get to know each other.
I want to go to a Cheesecake Factory. Hold on. Hold on. Huh? Oh my God. I thought I had already paid off my LA Airbnb, but I've just got another charge. I must have paid half of it. Okay. Dude, we need to go to a Cheesecake Factory whenever we're in LA. I've always wanted to go to one. I always wanted to go to Waffle House, which I just went to in Tennessee, and a Cheesecake Factory. So we need to write that down in the itinerary. Okay, goodbye. It's my friend Neve that I'm going to LA with.
They're a little bit better. And literally like 15 minutes before the lunch, she calls me and is like, hey, just heads up, Jeffree's coming. And at the time, like he was killing it, right? Like he was amazing and growing. And also he was totally terrifying. And so I was just like, oh no, like, oh, like, I don't know. Like I'm kind of an idiot. And I'm kind of like this innocent, like boring, like my channel's boring. Like I'm kind of boring. Like this is going to be wild. Like, why does he want to meet me? Why does he want to go to lunch with me? Like, this is crazy. Because we're definitely an odd pairing, right? So we all went to lunch and it blew my mind. And this is something I'll say to his credit. We sat down and he had told me that he had heard through the rumor mill that someone had been spreading some pretty nasty rumors about me and that he didn't judge people until he got to know them.
I almost feel like Jeffree said that to Tati as a way of gaining her trust, because if Jeffree immediately opened up to her and was like, by the way, people have been talking shit about you, but I'm not going to believe it because I think you're great in person, it automatically makes you want to like that person more and trust them. So I do think it was a little bit of a manipulation thing. Goodbye, Kat.
And then Laura was like, yeah, I heard the same rumor and Manny knows about this and Patrick knows about this. And I'm like, well, I have like 5 girlfriends that have told me the same story. So this person is clearly spreading a lot of lies. And that was upsetting, but also like bonded us in that instant. I was like, oh my gosh, like the person that maybe I had judged that I thought was really scary in front of me was so cool, intelligent, charismatic. Like I immediately liked him a lot. And I was like, that's so awesome that you're not going to listen to a rumor and you want to get to know me. Like, okay, we're really different, but like.
Okay, so basically what I said was exactly what Jeffree probably did. Gain her trust. Jasmine said, definitely a manipulation ploy on his end, even if it was true. Yeah.
Let's get to know each other. And that's how that friendship started. Wow. So I never pursued anyone that I ended up in big. Yeah, you're doing 5 videos a week. You don't have time to pursue. No. So they kind of, pursued the friendship, and it was exciting. Blew up in my face, but, and even I wouldn't call it a friendship with Shane, but he pursued me too. So it's like, I look back at my life and I'm like, wow, like I was my own little island. And like, how did this happen? But it happened. Yeah. I mean, since we're on that topic, I remember.
Michelle said, since that we're on that topic, tell me more.
That just broke the internet. That whole.
Gabriella, don't be stupid.
First off, I have to give you so much props. You are so brave for just speaking truth like that, because there's been so many times I wanted to do a My Truth video and I'm like, not ready. I don't want to do this because
I know the repercussions. Like I know like the attacks and everything. And so I'm so curious as to like how are you feeling on the lead up to that? Like it's not like something that just I woke up and I'm just going to do this. Like something
So obviously the bi sister right now.
was probably boiling for a long time, right? You're talking about bi sister or just leading up to all of that?
Leading up to all of that. Okay.
Because I know it's not an overnight thing doing something
I
like
need
that.
more therapy for this, you know? It's still like, it's been 5 years, about 5 years since the infamous birthday party dinner.
And you did it at my birthday dinner.
Which I haven't celebrated a birthday in 5 years. That's something that—
Are you serious?
that's like on the shelf. Yeah, like that was the last birthday party I had.
Oh, wow. And you did it at her birthday dinner 5 years ago, and there will never be another one. Wow. That's unfortunate.
And it was horrific and changed my life. You know, and I have to accept, here's the thing. I can't go in a time machine and like, oh, I wish that dinner had never happened. You know, like I can't undo what happened. But that was the catalyst for everything moving forward. We all know what Bi Sister was about. Did I think it would blow into what it was? Did I have the capacity to have 50 million views on a video? No. Speed? No. Like,
I also do believe her there. I know a lot of people don't believe Tati when she says that she didn't think it was going to, you know, blow up as much. Yes, my friend said we can't go to Cheesecake Factory. Yes. Yes. When she says that she didn't think it was going to blow up to what it is, I believe her. I really do. I think that she thought that it was going to go viral, but viral in the sense of the beauty community. Like, I mean like 5 million views max. So I do believe her there. Like, who would have thought that this would have taken off in the general public? Probably Jeffree and Shane, which is why they pushed for it so much. But I do believe that Tati didn't think it was going to go like this.
a couple million, and we've broken up and we're done, and I don't associate with him anymore and we're done. Like, that's really where I was at. I felt like I had to make that video, but I had a lot of noise in my ear, and a lot of powerful people bringing information to me, and it happened. I was really distraught over the information. It was very triggering to me. You know, I've had to overcome some pretty significant trauma in my life, and it triggered every part of me, the information that I was hearing. And a lot of people want to say, like, well, why didn't you go to the police? Why didn't you? Like, if things are of that nature and they're not affecting you directly, you can't. I felt like I needed to cut ties publicly. I didn't like how he was behaving. I was very clear about that. Looking back, were a lot of things fed to me that I don't know.
Diva Moon, obsessed with your username, by the way, said, "Oh, to be a fly on the wall at that dinner party."
True, yeah. You know, if you hear that YouTube executives are going to be deplatforming someone, and you should definitely make sure that you keep your distance, because
That's really crazy. I don't know if she's ever said that before, that she was told that YouTube were going to be deplatforming James and to kind of make herself very away from James, which was obviously a lie that she was fed to distance herself, because YouTube were going to be distancing themselves from James, which is really unfortunate. That, I mean, again, she chose to do it, and she was also led astray. She was led astray, but she ultimately did it. So the fault lies on everyone's behalf here, and ultimately does lie on Tati. And I think I've been very easy on her in the past, and I've got a lot of criticism for it, and I can ultimately see how this is her fault the same way it's other people's fault.
it's happening, and it could take you down too. Like, yeah, you're going to like lose a little sleep over that, you know. Gosh. So there was a lot of energy at play, and I can't explain it further than I felt like I had to make that video.
Yeah.
I had to. And the weird—
Listen, her story has never changed in all of the time of saying this. You know, maybe minor details here and there, but overall, she has continuously said from then till now that she felt she had to make this video. Listen, I'm just going to take her at her word now. She felt she had to make it, and that's why. And I guess, like, I'm just going to take her at her word for it, and I do believe her ultimately. Yeah.
weirdest thing happened right before I filmed that video. And it was honestly, it still just makes me go, oh my gosh. So I sat down, and, you know, I don't script my videos. I was just like, I just got to talk to camera. And I have my assistant in the studio with me, and we hear this incredible thud on the glass.
Who here is a coffee lover? I know I am, because I'm Vietnamese and we love our coffee. At Cato's Coffee,
No YouTuber has ever been successful in a natural flow transition into a sponsorship ever. Oh my god. God, can we get that one more time?
And I have my assistant in the studio with me, and we hear this incredible thud
I think it is a real ad.
on the glass.
Who here is a coffee lover? I know I am, because I'm Vietnamese and we love our coffee. At Cato's Coffee, they believe every morning should start with a fresh cup of coffee.
Oh my god. Oh, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Oh, fucking brilliant.
Film that video. And it was honestly, it still just makes me go, oh my gosh. So I sat down and, you know, I don't script my videos. I was just like, I just got to talk to camera. And I have my assistant in the studio with me, and we hear this incredible thud on the glass. And she's like, this is a bad omen. This is a bad idea.
Was it a bird?
It was a bird.
It was Jeffree Star outside. Let me in. Let me in.
It's a sparrow. And so I go outside and I see this bird, and this bird is like shaking on the ground. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, is this a sign? Like, what am I doing? And the bird got up and flew away.
She said, fuck that bird. I'm making this video.
And I remember I looked at James and I'm like, this is going to near kill me, but I have to make this video, but I'll be okay. And so I marched back inside and sat down, and, you know, the rest is history.
Wow.
She said, fuck that bird. The bird was sending her a sign, and she goes, fuck you.
50 million views? That is so insane. Oh my gosh. Like, so you uploaded the video, and did you go in reading the comment?
I don't want to repeat this again, but God, they're both so beautiful, aren't they?
So you decide, okay, I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to close my laptop and walk away and do my life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, what was the aftermath of that entire...
I laid in bed. I love that for you. I could not believe that this happened. Like, I know people will say, like,
I can't believe this happened. Her after posting a video and starting it. I can't believe this happened. Girl, what do you mean?
shows, just sat down, you did this, like, you had a choice, and I did, and I made that choice.
But it did seem like you were, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but it just based on what you're telling me, it seemed like there was some sort of manipulation into you creating it.
It felt like that.
Yeah.
And, it still does. None of it makes any sense.
Because it's not you. Like, I've been watching your videos for so long. Like, you're not the type to get into drama. Like, you're very family friendly, wholesome, like real. And no, I'm just keeping it real too. Like, real recognizes real. And when that came out, I'm like, I remember thinking, this is not Tati. Like, did something happen?
I love the phrase real recognizes real. It's a meaty, y'all.
Really out of character.
The information that I had felt really upsetting. And, James Charles referred to me publicly as mom, like, hey, mom, like, and like, we're besties. And like, I felt tied to him in this industry. And I wanted to untie that. And I felt like I needed to do it publicly. And I can't make sense of why I felt so deeply. Was there a lot of manipulation at hand? Yeah. Tons. And I've kept my mouth shut.
Not Own It by Lisa Renna. Who commented that? Who commented that? Own It. Purple Pleater. Did you know that Lisa Renna was standing opposite me the entire time? Have I gagged you a little bit? What an amazing coincidence. She's here in the studio. I need someone to screenshot this moment and send it to me. I don't know what else to... She doesn't say much. She kind of looks like me. Twin! Between the lips, the hair. This might be Adam McIntyre. Are you in underwear? No, I'm in little Urban Outfitter shorts. Adam, did you have a White Claw? No, but you've just reminded me that I have one in the fridge. Interesting. Okay, Lisa Renna, it has been a pleasure. Sure, she can just, oh, well, she can join us for the rest of the video. Sure, why not? Lisa, please. Lisa, please. Oh my God, Lisa, please. Ah, sure. Whatever. Shout out to that person who commented "Own it, Lisa Renna," and now you've just completely changed. You've just completely changed the stream. Thank you so much for your input.
And I felt that was the best path for me. And you know, that first week after, like, YouTube was not happy with me. Like, oh my God, you know, they were not happy with me.
Really?
No, it was
Mama, there's a girl behind you. What'd I do?
the behind the scenes was rough. I took a little bit of time, like not a significant amount of time, couple weeks to kind of dust myself off. You know, I'd made that second video kind of.
I do think it's really interesting. Sorry, I feel like someone's watching over me. It is really interesting. This is just, sorry, hold on. Who else on this platform gives you lore like this? I struggle to believe that you will get lore this great from anywhere else. And I want you to appreciate that. Who's the woman on the cardboard cutout? This is a cardboard cutout of me and drag. Wow. My landlord came and did a visit of my apartment 2 days ago, and he walked into this room and said, "Wow." That makes sense. Checks out. Anyways, it's really interesting to hear how much YouTube hated it. Because, you know, it went mainstream for YouTube. It went mainstream, and, you know, there were news articles about it, and it transcended YouTube at a stage, and it was part of the general culture. And to hear that YouTube were not happy with it straight off the bat, like, I'm surprised they didn't, like, kick Tati off the platform.
Wow, guys, this has really gone out of control. Like, I said what I said, but this doesn't mean that people need to go out there and, like, you know, hunt him down and be so nasty. Like, I didn't think it would turn into what it turned into. It was a full-blown
Mama, a girl behind you.
Yeah. I, for a while, really regretted making that video.
Oh, for a while regretted it. Is she going to say that she doesn't anymore?
What people, I think, don't understand, like, even when I did, I think it was like a year later, because everything had been kicked up again and I was being blamed again for so much. And I'm like, this is making me crazy. Like, I really feel like I need to speak my side. When I made that video, that last video about this situation, I never said, hey, none of these allegations are true. Like, what I regretted was that it blew up into this big circus, that I took things publicly that I should have taken.
And keep in mind, Bye Sister was what stopped YouTube from showing live subscriber counts, because people were doing, you know, watch parties of James Charles losing millions of subscribers.
Privately, that I should have investigated more thoroughly instead of trusting people that were close to me. I had regrets over all of those things, but I never said, hey, and it was all a lie, and none of it happened. Like, I never did that. And that was the story that then took off, which was just like, oh my God. Yeah.
Verna said, Tati girl, I don't believe for 1 second you didn't think this video would send a lot of hate to James Charles. Julianne said she's still playing victim. Jenna said, because you were messaging drama channels.
You can't control. It's like wildfire. You really can't control stuff like that afterwards. You can only speak your truth from that point. And that's what you were trying to do when you're making these other videos to clear it up.
I was trying to clear it up.
Yeah, but then
it didn't get cleared up. Yeah, it just brought on more. So it kind of gets to a point where it's like, well, should you ever speak your truth? And that gets really tricky, because now.
Shahad said, then what were her intentions? Now, that's also a very good point. What were her intentions? She says that she was trying to cut off communications from James, but if that was the case, would she have went as hard in the video as what she did? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, I'm in a place where I want to speak as much truth as I can, but let go of the outcome and let go of what people say. And if people are like,
Can people comment speak her truth? Truth in all capitals and the purple emoji. Not many people are doing the purple emoji bit tonight. I miss it.
oh, you are crazy. I'm like, well, good thing you're not living with me. Like, if you feel that way, like, I'm in my skin, I'm in my life, and I need to focus on that. So accept me or don't. And that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. So interesting because I feel like sometimes being a public figure, you're putting yourself out there, and everyone, you can give someone the same book. If you read it and I read it, we have two different experiences. And oftentimes that's how it is. There's always another side to the story. But sometimes you have to kind of accept that.
I feel like she was also trying to warn people about his predatory nature. I guess, yeah. I guess. I mean, you know, it's an interesting one. I mean, it really comes into like what were her true intentions. Ah, there they are. There's the purple. Love. Love. Speak her truth.
You might be a villain in someone else's story, and you can't change that. You can't try to go in and force the narrative to change for you. You have to detach from that if you want to live a life where you have sanity. Yeah. So sure. Yeah, like honestly,
Tanya Westbrook, purple emoji.
thank you for sharing that. And I know that I just knew when all of this was happening that my intuition, because I lean into my intuition a lot. My intuition was telling me, I don't know, this is not Tati, but I was so impressed with how you gracefully moved through this entire thing, because I've never gone through anything like that. I've gone through a lot, but not like a public, like having friendship like that and just publicly breaking up with your friends like that publicly. I've never gone through anything like that. So I commend your bravery on that.
Thank you.
Honestly, like, wow.
Thank you. It's been wild. I've learned a lot, and I don't think I'm perfect. I don't think I handled everything perfectly, but there was a point where I was like, I've got to let go.
Yeah.
And it feels so much better to be in that space now where I'm not so micromanaging it. Like it's been 5 years since that birth ago.
I don't know if it feels like it's been longer or shorter than 5 years. Oh my God, I'm still mentally there. Help, I'm still at the restaurant, still sitting in a corner.
It feels like a lifetime ago. Do I feel like people still have a lot of that situation wrong? Yeah, absolutely. But I also know that I'm not here to create
Michelle said, I'm not messy like you, girl.
more damage. And I think that some things are better handled in real life. And I think that's the one thing that I wish I would have done is not bow to so much fear and handle things in real life. Because I was worried for my career. I was kind of in a bad place any which ways.
I really wish she would talk about what was that goddamn video called where she had like this like glow? What was the one called? Where she was like, fuck Shane, fuck Jeffree. What was that video called? Well, in the sense that if you kick every Tanya Westbrook out of this country, who's going to make your expose videos, Donald Trump? Oh, that's not in the sense that... What was her video called? No, not Bye Sister. The other one. Breaking My Silence. Yeah, I wish she would talk about that one more, because that one was crazy. She's like, I'm suing everyone, and then she was the one that got sued. She made a lot of promises in that video.
How are you able to continue creating after going through so many like episodes of I don't want to call it setbacks, but just challenges like this conflict? Because you seem like a very peaceful, you want to make sure everyone's chill, everyone's good. You want to just focus on you and work on yourself. Yeah, people want to come.
Whoa! Look at this! Taylor looks amazing! I didn't even give a shit that she was going to the game. But if she's gonna look that good, maybe I give a shit. Whoa! She looks so good! Wow. Maybe I do care about her being at the show. Or the game, whatever the fuck it is. Whatever. Whatever the fuck it's called. Anyways. So many distractions.
Into your life, and
they want to be your friends. They want to, unfortunately, sometimes use you as a ladder. Like, how are you still able to find strength to just continue creating? Because I know how hard it is when you're creating out of a deficit. It's almost impossible to, but I just was so blown away by your perseverance. Like, you were still going and going and going. And I'd love to learn how you were able to, like, what did you do during that time and who was there to help you? You know, after that second video, I had already been through a lot. Like, I'd already been through the drama wheel. I felt like I needed a little bit.
By the second video, is she talking about the holding myself accountable one? Is that what it was called? Or breaking my silence? God, there's too many of the titles.
But I love making videos. So I kind of always feel like.
I wonder what the outcome would have been if James sat with her in the video. Yeah, she did say that James wanted to sit with her in the breaking my silence video. Or that she wanted James to sit, but James said, do it yourself.
Whatever happens, I'm going to get back to playing with makeup and making videos. And I'm kind of on my own island. And I don't really need, I don't want to say I don't need community, but it's like, if I have to be alone for a time, okay, like, I'm fine with that. I can create. And so I was going to just hop back into beauty videos after that last, what was the title of it? It was like Breaking My Silence or something like that. And yes. I had, James around me. We actually had planned on moving to Hawaii. My audience doesn't know that either. We had put an offer in on a home in Lahaina. James's mom lived in Hawaii.
Oh, she's referencing the Why I Did It video, and now she's referencing the Breaking My Silence.
So we spent a lot of time there. We got married awesome.
Thank you, Jen Love, for your deep lore.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I was setting up a new studio, like, had my stuff ready to go back to filming. So it's kind of funny. You're like, how did you persevere? And it's like, really, I'm just putting one foot in front of the other. Like, if anything, that's a great takeaway from going through rehab and walking a sober life is to really take things a day at a time. Yeah, I just focus on the day and evaluate what went wrong, where could I do better, how can I be more resilient and strengthen myself. Don't look at everything that's going on because that will make you crazy, but you can handle the day. So I did a lot of that, and I was ready to kind of get back to YouTube. And then it's like, but wait, there's more. And then a minority partner in Halo Beauty, Clark Swanson, sent a demand letter threatening to file a lawsuit if we didn't give him $30 million, a third of Tati Beauty. What else did he want? $30 million more.
Not breaking my finance, like Jasper just said.
Or a third of Tati Beauty and all of Halo Beauty.
Oh my God.
So it's like, give me this, or I'm going to file a lawsuit.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
And I don't have $30 million. Like, I mean, lawsuits are kind of funny like that, like it. So it was pretty major. That kind of took me out emotionally more than any of the other drama. Like, that was big. He was a friend of ours, and this was going to be public, and it is public and nasty, and it has become nasty. And that was the real reason that I had to stay offline for the time that I did. That hiatus of, it was like 10 months. Yeah, like I was gone. Yeah, Tatu. Yeah. Girl, I'm stronger than ever. You are. I know. You're just really like trial by fire, like steel. You're just folding and folding and becoming stronger and stronger. But I mean, like, who was there for you? Like, besides James, of course. James wasn't there the whole time because we broke up for a brief time. We were headed toward divorce. I mean, if you can imagine, that was a close friend of his. And it's like, this person who's your friend is creating this drama in our life and trying.
Dama! Where are the Tati blessings? Where are her Tay blessings? Holy shit, just one thing after another.
Take things that I've built, and it was really tough. So there was a time, long story short, we didn't close on the house in Lahaina. We left Hawaii, and James and I split for a time, and my family's still in Washington, so I stayed up there. He was out of the picture for a time, and this was still during pretty significant restrictions with COVID. So there was like 3 months where I didn't see anyone. I was literally alone, no James, no family, no friends, alone, no YouTube, dealing with this crazy catastrophe. It was wild. I'm so sorry. That's truly the darkest point of my life. Out of all of the wild that I've been through, that segment of time was the darkest, but I also grew the most. I became so reinforced, self-reliant. I knew that I could survive in this world without anyone, that I would actually be okay, that I know how to take care of myself. And so a really interesting resilience was built during that time, and a lot of healing, a lot of deepening with my faith, lot of conversations with God. And just a lot of stillness. Like that time, I unplugged everything. Like I could not watch TV, listen to music, interact on social. Like I really took my time to kind of still. I was showing up still for what I was responsible for, of course, in regards with Halo Beauty. Like that was still alive and well, but I was off YouTube.
And that's a machine. Yeah, that YouTube is a machine. People don't realize it, that it is already being a YouTuber is a full-time job. And then you have Halo and you had all these other things. And to stop that, it must have given you so much time to go through this healing process.
Yeah, for sure. So it was good in a way. I always tell people it was like 50% beautiful, magnificent. Like, thank you, God, for that time. Thank you for, like literally praise him in the storm, like because it was a storm. And, like I feel this intense gratitude, but it was also horrifying. Like 50% amazing, 50% horrifying, deep betrayal from a friend. And I had this feeling that he was feeding information.
Damn, they just kept throwing fucking tomatoes at her. Is she gonna...
to drama channels.
Ooh, that's referencing Without a Crystal Ball, right? Am I correct or am I wrong? Katie Joy, Without a Crystal Ball. Wasn't that the one that was involved in all the lawsuits? Allegedly, maybe I'm telling that wrong.
And I had to go through separate litigation to really uncover where a particular leak was happening, where information about the company and about myself was getting in the hands of people where it didn't make sense. I'm like, where is this leak coming from? This feels like a real rich public humiliation. Like I have to find out what's going on before I can even think of going back to YouTube. So that was really the cause of my time off.
Did you have any publicists or anyone else like helping you? It was just you.
Just don't have a publicist.
Oh, it was Without Crystal Ball.
I don't have an agent. I'm just doing that on my own.
It's incredible. You inspire me, Tati, honestly.
Thank you.
Honestly, wow.
Thank you. It's not over yet. I'm going to be on trial in August.
I'll be there for you to support you.
Gosh.
But I know what it's like being in trial like that. Speak from your heart.
I'm going to, and I'm learning now more than ever, like from the mistakes that I've made, dating back to my early 20s. Like I've learned so much. And I think the biggest like spiritual awakening, if you will, like the number one thing that happened to me during that time out was radical accountability and an intense, like non-negotiable desire to be truthful, even if it hurt people, even if it put me in a disadvantage. And I'm talking like white lies. Like my inner monologue changed. And like, if I was even bullying myself, I'd be like, but is this true?
Yeah.
Like, is this real? No. And I'd start holding myself accountable. And like my brain changed during this particular season. And, so whatever's happening for anyone, whatever bad thing is happening, there's always something good.
Light underlying it.
Yeah.
You have to, I think the perspective has to be like, instead of seeing the bad, you have to see the opportunity to change, because you can't change when everything is nice. When everything is great, it's kind of hard to change.
Hey, let's go shopping.
Exactly. But when things are not going according to plan, and when you're going through your flop era, whatever you want to call it, I really believe, one, it humbles you. And
oh my God. So beautifully worded there by Michelle. Tati, so like that, when you're going through your flop era, oh my God.
two, it's an invitation to change, because it is the unknown. Mm-hmm. It's something you didn't plan for. No one plans to fail, honestly. Everyone plans to succeed.
No one plans for a flop era.
And I think when
Tati's only crime, serving too much faith.
it doesn't happen. And I think what's interesting is that you are alone. And I believe when you are alone like that, you don't have your support or anything, it's an ego death. Like you went through another ego death.
How many times have I died at this? I don't know. Like they did like pretty wild. 4 so far that I counted. I will say this, something that's really beautiful and felt totally supernatural to me. During this time, and this is like a big, like I admit through my sobriety walk, like there's been temptation and that escape being like right there and so socially acceptable. Like I would kind of get a little bit bitter and be like, oh, it must be nice. Like, oh, I can't do that, but oh, it sure looks good. And there would be just this kind of struggle that would come in and out, and of course would be exaggerated if I was going through any trauma. Like anyone that's dealt with addiction knows that you go through some major life crisis and you feel like you have this big excuse of like, oh, I'm just going to go grab
Flop era. Affectionate question mark?
that bottle and I'm going to numb this pain. And something that happened during this time where I was away from James and everyone, and kind of in that 3 months period where I was trying to figure out what was going on with this litigation, I had such intense prayer time. You could call it meditation. You could call it whatever you want, but just this connection with my creator. And what was lifted off of me felt so permanent. I had no desire to drink or use. And this is in like the most painful chapter of my life.
Wow.
Right? Like I'm literally talking to divorce attorneys. Like everything's on its head. Everything I'd built. Like the finish line was like right there. We're going to live in a beautiful home in Hawaii. I'm going to make videos. We're going to escape the drama. We're going to start a family because I've wanted to be a mom forever. And that's, really tough that didn't happen. But I lost everything overnight, it felt. But there was this presence with me that alleviated a lot of the pain that had still somehow been clinging on. So I had this beautiful, I don't know if you call it a release, but undoing of something that had kind of been around my ankle my whole life. And that's something really cool.
Not people in the chat being like, I'm also currently in my flop era, so I understand her. Guys.
To come through as well, to be like, hey, like, check the box. I did that. I went through this horrific time and I stayed sober. And I'm really proud of that.
Yeah. You went through the 40 days, 40 nights of the darkness. Like, you were tested. You were definitely tested. That's what it felt like to me. I think I'm so blown away by your strength, honestly. That, to me, it's testimony of resilience and also you letting go of these energy attachments that were holding you down. That's what it feels like. And because like, if I were to put myself in your shoes, I would for sure cave. Like knowing that, like, and there's been times even on my end, like I was done. I was done with everything. And it's so crazy when you are at the lowest point. In my experience, this is where God comes in. Oh, yeah. In a strange way, like, okay, then maybe I'll stay because maybe it seems like there's purpose for me here. Mm-hmm. And it's so personal. Like some people might not believe it because it is so personal. Yeah. Like only you can experience that presence. Yeah. And it seems like you had a presence like that.
There was some, I've kind of alluded to this a little bit on my channel, but there was some wild stuff going on. Like we're talking paranormal activity and like, what the heck is happening? It was definitely, there's a heavy charge. It was a really intense period of time and really opened myself up to pursuing God and pursuing a deeper meaning in life and trying to understand truly what it means to go inward, the idea that the kingdom is within. I think that's real. It is. I think that's where we find what already exists. And I'm curious if you vibe with this or not. Like this is something I've been talking about recently. And a lot of my friends are like, what? Like you're being so weird again. Like, oh my gosh. But I always think that we have all these amazing feelings, creativity, like beautiful things living within us. And sometimes
I'm hearing her right.
It's an experience. Sometimes it's a person.
Not the haunting of Tati Westbrook.
And that brings these emotions out. But it's really cool to step back and be like, but that person isn't experiencing the same beautiful emotion that you are. It already was built in you. It's already there. So if you can remember that when you're freaking out and you're going through something terrible, you're like, I don't know how to be still. I don't know how to do this. Yes, you do. Those feelings already live inside of you. That feeling of love, whether it's for a family member or a new romance, like that beautiful feeling of love, that's your feeling. Like
Jen Love said, I remember when she came back to YouTube and she begged tarot readers not to read her anymore. It freaked her out. Do people do that? Do they like do tarot readings? Oh, I guess, what's that one called? The twink. What's the twink called? What is that twink called? Help me. No one's helping me. Aphrodite.
Already built in you. Like learn to access it by setting some things that you might be attached to down.
Yep.
And you can flow.
Y'all in the chat are being like, oh, why are you calling him a twink? But whenever I said, who's that twink? Look at the comments. Everyone knew. No shade. That
feeling, and that has helped me so much. Like I feel a kind of strength that I never knew was possible. And it's really great. And I haven't stopped the
Someone said, I'm going to need a little bit more than a twink with tarot cards.
journey. Like I'm continuing to pursue, if we want to like throw the Bible in the mix, God says, seek me and you'll find. Oh yeah. And I'm seeking. And it might not look the same as a lot of people would want it to, as far as what religion looks like sometimes, because I don't align with everything, but I align with seeking, and that has brought me a lot. It's so personal. The spiritual journey is so personal. It's not a one size fits all. I mean, I think it's so incredible. And I feel like there's this new era for Tati, like this, we know about the outer beauty, but then there seems like there's this inner beauty era, right? That I would love to see more of, because I feel like as I'm getting older, I'll always love beauty. I'll always love that part. That's always going to be part of my identity. But there's so much more that I want to explore in the spiritual consciousness space. And this is something that I want to talk more about on my channel. That. It's interesting. It is. And I think a lot of people are interested in it. Yeah. So we've gone through this crazy hero's journey. We're not done with it yet. You're not done with it yet. Done. But I just know that there is you coming back home, changed and transformed. That's on the horizon. I'm so curious as to, like, as you're going through your moment of slaying the dragon and everything, because you're still making content. I saw the Tati list, and I would love to know more about, like, what is Tati list? Is she coming back with something new and exciting?
Slaying the dragon.
This is something I wanted to do for a while. I just didn't know how to, and technology wasn't up to speed, and now it is. So I have, this is going to be a little techie for a moment, but I got a short code to be able to reach my audience through SMS. And that takes time. It's nothing that you flip a switch overnight. So that was a whole, how do we do this? How can I connect with my audience more intimately without relying on any one platform? Like, if all of it fell away, could I still connect with my audience? Let me figure out how to do that so that I can do this forever.
Is she talking about the app community that, like, you tell your audience a number and you can text them, but they can't text you or whatever it is? Remember that was a big thing a couple of years ago.
And I want it to be many different things, not just one thing. I want to do meetups. I want to do events. I am going to be sending, mass gifting out to select winners. And it's going to be a pretty robust.
The giveaway arc.
I guess you could call it a club.
Yeah.
Could you? It's
is.
the Tati list. It's just a place for all of my audience to participate in many different cool things. And as we grow, maybe I do build out a separate space. I've had an app in the past, and that was really fun. But again, I don't think that technology was advanced enough at the time. But who knows?
I mean, there's so much on the horizon with, like, AI. Like, what I'm seeing in the coding spaces, you can build an app just using AI alone. So give it a year or two, and you might just be able to build a crazy super app.
It's still just...
All right, I'm done with that. All right, or maybe pay workers to create the apps instead of relying on AI. Shocker. All right, I'm done listening to that. Oh my God, I've had enough. But anyways, I think that was a great podcast. I'm really happy for Tati to be in this time period of her life right now. I think that the conversation between her and Michelle was really nice on the basis of we know the lore between Michelle and Tati. And it was a really productive, like, nice, sweet conversation. Can't wait for Tati list.